The digital clock humming quietly on my nightstand was the only sound my ears could detect. The night was dead quiet, yet I knew he was there. Right on schedule, he would be lurking there, outside my window. He would knock. For some reasons which I could explain, would open the blinds, a sense of dread flooding my body. He would stare at me and I would stare at him. He would lean to after and I would stay awake until the sun began to rise. This was our routine. My mind was wandering 1,000 miles away when he knocked that night. Though my eyes lingered on the window, I told myself that I wouldn't open the blinds. I told myself that he wouldn't scare me and that I would get the rest that I so desperately needed. He knocked twice more. I grabbed a pillow, squeezing it tight over my head, and began humming some old nursery rhyme from a childhood, which at that moment seemed so long ago. He knocked once again, and this time it was hell of a lot less courteous than a knock than usual. It morphed into a loud thumping noise. I finally threw the pillow off my head and opened the blinds. His pale, wrinkly face leered in at me. His lifeless black eyes that shone, despite their darkness, peered into my own. His stringy hair fluttered a little in the wind. He seemed to be breathing somewhat harshly, and though it was hard to determine his mood as anything other than being emotionless, I could sense a mountain of animosity I had never felt before. After what seemed like hours, he turned around and was on his way. I faced the ceiling and wept. This had been going on for more than a month. I tried to talk to others about it, but I could never finish my sentence. They just degrade into quiet mumblings and whispers. I was so tired. Had I even begun to realise if I was losing my mind? I had tried sleeping pills, but they couldn't even help me sleep for the night. The weirdest part about it is I woke up about 5 minutes before he knocked. I knew instinctively that he would be there. I was so tired. The next night I told myself under no circumstances that I would look out that window. I didn't care if he was on the verge of breaking the glass. I would not give him what he wanted. I would not feed him. He'd have to find someone else to haunt, someone else to steal sleep from. He'd have to leave me alone. I woke up and I instantly knew what was going to happen. It's funny, I always anticipated his knocks, but yet I still jumped a little when I finally heard him. I lay in my bed quietly, like I hadn't heard anything. He knocked, and I hid under the pillow once more. He knocked again, louder than he did the night before. I whimpered under my pillow. He knocked twice more, and after that, things got quiet. I no longer had that feeling that I was being watched. I pulled my head out from under the pillow and slowly looked out my window. Nothing. Just my backyard. I laughed. I laughed so hard that little tears began to slip out of my eyes. He was somebody else's problem now. I looked at the clock and noticed I had been only asleep about for 15 minutes, and I turned over to get back to sleep. I had just fallen into that uncertain stage when dreams mingle with reality, when I heard a distant click of a door. My back door. Something had just entered into my house from the outside. Something from my backyard. I knew it was him. I listened quietly as his footsteps made his way from my kitchen to my dining room to the short hallway outside my bedroom. He was walking slowly and patiently, making no attempts to hide his presence. When he knocked on my door, I almost vomited. I had to do something, anything. I was paralysed with fear. He knocked again. Trembling, I pulled the pillow back over my head. All that could be heard was the sound of an alarm clock buzzing, weeping and knocking. I was so tired.